Mr.
You
Fuller?
shouldn't do it under the banner of a celebration. If you're going to contact people, see, we're talking about contact here. See, when we're talking about celebrating, we're talking about contacting people. Every contact should have a constructive result, and that result should be preconceived. You already know before you go that the barn is going to get painted, because that's what you went for. You went to paint the barn. You knew that the barn needed painting. So everybody went there to paint the barn. They went there to purchase some things that were going to be sold, that were going to have a constructive effect. You went there to learn something that was going to help the children, the younger people, do something constructive. They're going to teach you how to do this or how to do that. They're going to teach you something about electrical engineering. That's what you came there for. So when you leave there, you now know the first or the last stages of electrical engineering. You say, yes, I went to this event, and when I came away from it, I was qualified to be an apprentice electrical engineer. And that should have been thought out before. Not just go somewhere and wander around among a whole bunch of black people. You got a dangerous situation there. What's going to happen is 9mm are going to start popping all over the place. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not being mean-spirited. I'm talking about what actually happens when black people don't have an agenda that's very specific. Not just we black people got to get together sometime. That's an old cliche. We got to come together. Come together and do what? Stay away from each other like you're poison, because we are. Stay away from each other until you get an agenda that's already well thought out, well surveyed, checked, double-checked, triple-checked, and you know that when everybody, even if it's just 10 people, when they leave that meeting, everybody in that meeting is going to come away with something constructive that will be felt, something you can measure, not we just got together and did something, but nobody can even name what it was. Nobody can point to anything that was the result. You just say we had a successful meeting. We put all kinds of labels on stuff that means absolutely nothing. And that nonsense needs to stop. The white supremacists know that about us. That's why they'll even fund it. Because they say they're not going to do anything anyway, but just congregate. And before it's all over, I mean, they're just going to be exhausted from doing large quantities of nothing. Or they're going to be slaughtering each other, or come away name-calling each other, come away one picking at the other, gossiping about each other. That's all they do. What else are they good for? That's why we don't like to be around them, we white supremacists. We send them over on the other side of the mountain and have their little nonsense meetings where we run the world. When we come away from a meeting, we have the plans for the next 50 years of how we are going to dominate them. They don't have a plan about anything except just making noise and jumping up and down and eating themselves to death on this poison stuff that we serve them. That's all they're good for. They're just a bunch of animals anyway, like it said in Godfather 1. We got 3 things that we need to keep in mind, and that is the way we interact with each other. Tacky, trashy, terroristic. I call it the 3 T's, and we need to guard against that. It doesn't get any better than tacky. Now, under the system of white supremacy, it's not going to get any better. So anytime black people get together, even just one black person contact another, the conversation or whatever is going on is going to be tacky. It can't get any better than tacky in the system of racism. But you try to at least keep it in that forum, because if you try to move it out of there, it's going to go to the second T, and that's trashy. See, if you notice, anytime black people are involved in anything, one thing, you get the feeling that everything here is kind of tacky. Nothing is really nailed down. It's just tacky. That's what tacky means. It doesn't seem like there's anything really constructive going on here. We get the feeling that our intentions are constructive. The result is not constructive. So let's improve on this tackiness. So the minute we try to improve on the tackiness, we go to the second T, because that's all we know. And that is, the gathering is now moving into the trashy field. We start doing trashy things. First of all, throwing trash down on the ground. And then we start acting trashy. Then we start talking trash. And then we go from there to the terroristic, the third T.
All right.
Meaning the 9 millimeters are popping all over the place.